Hello and welcome to a heavily medicated version of Points of Interest. I am one of your hosts, Jake, along with my co-host James over here.
Hey guys.
If you're new to the show, this is Inverted Reality's gaming news podcast. Each week we bring you news, gaming news specifically, from around the internet in one nice, easy to consume format for you to enjoy.
You're just so happy you have a feedback monitor right here so you know exactly.
Feedback?
Feedback. It's like feedback, but it's more foreign and fancy. So
Feedback. It's the Maybach version of feedback.
yeah, exactly.
It's just how it
You
goes.
figured it out. How did you know?
You can get the audio version on your podcast service of choice. You get the video version on YouTube.
Fun fact, the audio version soon to be coming on Spotify. I don't know if it'll be this one. It'll probably be next week's. But
They have to approve that, right?
they do. But as far as I can tell from the initial emails I've had, we should be good.
That'd be pretty dope.
It'd be pretty exciting. So we'll definitely let you know. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IRGames. Stay up to date on all that. I will let you know the minute it's on Spotify. It's going to be super cool. I'm
Trust me.
excited.
It'll be cool. We'll put up screenshots just because it'd be cool to see our stuff on Spotify.
Yeah, it will. And watch it have no place. It'll be great. I'm so excited.
Look at all those plays it's got.
Less than 1,000. That's what it's going to say.
That's
It's
good.
good
That
enough.
make you feel good about it.
That
It's just
is-
less than 1,000.
It's
As
close
soon as it
enough.
takes over 1,001, we're like, yes,
Yeah.
we've done it.
It'll be interesting.
We've made it on the Spotify.
But not everybody knows that Spotify does podcasts too. It's,
know.
They added it a few years ago, but it's not really like a big forte.
It's just
so.
now being advertised on some of the podcasts that I listen to. I'm an avid podcast listener,
Right.
but I still don't listen to them on Spotify.
Right. Well, I mean, it might be nice. It's like, well, you're already listening to music there. You just pull up your podcast too. So.
Yeah, I have a podcast app that I actually paid for because
yeah.
the Google
that's
Play
right.
app kind of blows,
Right.
and the Stitcher app sucks worse. And
Indeed.
yeah, Podbean is not even worth trying.
That's
As
fair.
an
It's
app, as a hosting
great.
service, it's fantastic.
Great as a host.
but as an app, it's terrible. So I got an app called Pocket Casts. It was like $3.
That explains. I was looking at statistics today and saw that one keep coming up consistently.
That's me.
Okay. All right. I was wondering. I was like, what the heck is this?
Yes, I listen to our own podcast. No, it's not weird.
I think it's reasonable.
Is it weird when the quarterback watches his own game tape? I didn't think so. James, what have you been playing lately?
All right. So I finally finished Assassin's Creed. I'm not
You
going to throw
did.
it up here. I got all but like 4 trophies. Achievements. I'm happy with the progress I had in that game so far. I got a ridiculous amount of gamer score from it. So I'm thrilled. But I moved on to Wolfenstein Old Blood. I hadn't finished Old Blood. It's the, if you don't know, it's DLC, came out standalone a few months after Wolfenstein New Order. And it's prequel. It takes place before the game. In the beginning of the first game, you are assaulting Death's Head Complex. It's one of the right-hand men for Hitler and all that stuff. And so the Old Blood is all about you getting the plans to find the location of Death Head's compound. So it's only like, it's 8 chapters. I think it was like 5 or 6 hours. So it's not
Yeah.
this huge commitment. They have challenges and stuff like that. I did a couple. It's really fun. It was like some new elements. They had like this really cool pipe you could use to climb the walls in a really interesting way. A couple different guns. They had a sawed-off shotgun, which was awesome.
Oh, nice.
It was really cool. It was good. It was a great add-on. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I picked it up on sale last summer for super cheap.
Yeah.
Finally finished it because I wanted to get to Wolfenstein 2. And I felt like I needed to do this first. But then I started going to my PlayStation Plus games because I haven't been playing them lately because they all just have not really
I'm going to
appealed
look
to
and see
me.
if I've picked up the ones for this month.
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking at them. I played Bound. I think that was 2 or 3 months ago.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Tried it out. After about 10 minutes, I was like, nope, not for me. Deleted it. I had no idea what was happening. The controls were weird. The art style was
I think
funky.
I've played that one before or seen
Weird.
it.
It's weird. It looks like a big foam block universe. It just didn't make sense and it didn't click with me. I'm sure it's a great game. Everyone loves it probably, but I really took to Rhyme. So this is not something that I would normally do.
It's like Journey.
Yeah, so it's very similar to the style of Journey. At least that's what people say online. I still haven't played Journey. But
I have played Journey. It looks like Journey.
yeah, but so it's a bunch of well, you probably the cloak
Yeah,
probably.
the cloak is.
Yeah, that's
what
kind of what I
does
was
it.
thinking. But it's a big puzzle thing. I've gotten through the first chapter, 5 chapters. It's not super long. I'm going to assume it's probably 8 to 10 hours. I'm not platinum it because no. But it is interesting. I picked it up. I didn't really know anything about it. Challenging puzzles, some platforming and things like that. Very interesting. So I'm excited to see. There's 4 more chapters. I don't really know what it's about. It looks like some kind of trauma happened maybe, and I'm reliving that or going through 5 stages of grief, I think. But it's very interesting. So I like the art style. It's it's interesting shading. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's almost like there's just parts of it just have a complete lack of shadow, so it's a very flat color.
Yeah.
But there's still some texture to it. It's very interesting. So far I like it. There's some
water here with a rock right there.
right, exactly.
You would know that was water. You don't know where the water stops and the sky starts.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. The first one was in this nice big open, gorgeous little forest area, and then I went into like a labyrinth. It was like very dark and brooding. So it should be interesting. Yeah, that's what I've been playing. So what about you? What do you got?
Well, I finished Wolfenstein 2 this week.
Yeah, you did. I didn't even know you were like back into it yet.
Well, what actually got me into it is I let some friends borrow my Xbox controllers for the weekend,
Thought so.
and therefore had no way to play my Xbox. So I was going to get really creative with my phone, and I was not about to do that.
No, not for something like Origins.
So I was a little ways into Wolfenstein, and I had stopped because I was getting frustrated.
First one?
Two.
Okay, so you had started 2.
I'd already started 2. I was well into it.
Okay.
And I was just at the point that I was just like beating my head against the wall trying to beat.
Right.
So I said, I don't care anymore. I want to play through it, and I want to enjoy it. So I put it on the easiest level. And hot dang, it was way more fun. It was so much fun that way.
No, I hear you there.
And I'd heard on other podcasts, people were like, you know what, I took it to the easiest level after the first couple levels, and it was just way more fun. It was like a typical shooter at that point. I was like, that's what I want. I want the Wolfenstein story inside a typical shooter. That's did.
So you're not going to go back and play it on a harder difficulty?
No, probably not. Like, if there's like a Doom style level where it's like, oh, play through the first mission on the hardest difficulty and get a trophy, like, yeah, I'll consider it.
Yeah.
But
which we
little
didn't
things
ever
like
finish.
I will play hard games. Like, we've talked about it several times on the show.
Right.
I love playing Dark Souls, that kind of stuff. I enjoy it. But for whatever hard shooters, just don't scratch that itch
That's
for
fair.
me. But this game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you have not played it, I would highly encourage you play them both.
Yeah. I was going to say, a pretty big improvement on the first one, or just more of the same? I've played the intro level and was blown away by it, but
I'd say it's pretty big improvement. They added a bit of a. That being said, I haven't played the first one in a long time.
right.
So they added something of a leveling system,
Okay.
sort of, where like when you do certain things, like get so many stealth kills and you can move faster while you're crouched,
Okay.
and so many like if you get enough of these like codes off of the officers you kill, then it takes longer for their alarm to start. So you get time to kill them before. And I say it takes longer. It's like 0.6 seconds before
Right.
it starts. But in a quick situation, that might be all the time you need.
Right.
So I think when you get enough, you can delay it for a whole second. So
I
if you like
gotcha.
see the guy and turn and sees you, it's not instant alarm. It's like it's
Right,
got to
that's what
build
it's been.
first.
Yeah, it's
So-
interesting. There's some in the first game, not too much. There was some in the DLC that I just played through where it was like, get this many kills with this gun and get another attachment for it or something like that. Where in the first game, I don't think there was quite as much of that.
Yeah.
If we're wrong, obviously, correct us. But graphically, it looked amazing. I like that the
It's fantastic.
interface seems a little bit clearer in this one. I don't know if you noticed it at all.
It's pretty
if
out of the way.
Okay.
Like it gets out of the way and lets you play.
I mean, you still got shield and health pickups, right?
Yeah.
Separate? Okay. All right. So
I feel
that's
like you don't have to mash the button to pick everything up. Like he will pick up stuff as you walk over it. I think
okay.
you have to kind of initiate, like pick up something, and then it'll start. Like if you're in a crowd of things,
It'll just
pick up
grab
something,
everything?
it picks up a lot of things
Yeah,
as
see,
you
that
walk
was the
over it.
really big problem with the first one is that you had to like not only did you have to push it for everything, but you basically had to have your reticle on it for the most part.
Yeah, you just
And-
walk through like mashing square to try and pick
And
up
it just
everything you
was
walk
not-
over.
It felt a little bit of breaking the immersion because you had to run over a pile 2 or 3 times to grab everything and look down and stop what you're doing to do it. And so you didn't see that as much in this
Yeah,
second one.
it's a mix of the two. Like sometimes you like as you walk over, it doesn't pick it up, but like you'll pick it up, and then sometimes as you walk over, it picks up some stuff. So I
Right.
don't know if like a certain amount of things being in a certain proximity
Right.
triggers it the ability to pick it up without you hitting a button
Gotcha.
or what it is.
But
But
overall, better than the first one.
I think it's a fantastic game.
Sweet.
And
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's probably what I start next. I finished Assassin's Creed. I actually played a little bit of Banjo Kazooie because
Saw
I
that.
got the rare replay, and I've never played like a backwards compatible on the Xbox One. It legit
Yeah.
like loads up like a virtual 360 console.
yeah, it does.
So to look at the
It
achievements,
loads up to like the screen.
yeah, everything was exactly so. Like when I had an achievement pop in that, it didn't pop on my Xbox One. It popped on the 360 in a totally different place. I had to push. You push the menu button and the other button; those two.
Yeah.
You push them at the same time. It brings up your Xbox 360
Back, I believe the
menu,
button is.
and that's where you see your achievements. And so it's interesting how it does it. It's Banjo Kazooie. So if you've ever played Banjo, it was back in 1999, It's pretty awesome to just do it. It's when I put in the Rare Replay disc, it actually downloaded like 10 of the titles. So some of them are on the disc, but like Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie,
those big
those
games.
are like separate from
Bigger.
it. So I don't even have to have the disc in there. So that's kind of nice. It did take absurdly too long to install Rare Replay. Like I put it in and it took like 45 minutes to install everything.
Goodness.
I'm like, this is stupid. It's on a disc. You're not downloading. I'm watching you not download anything. Just like, come on. Like, why is this just so stupid?
World's
Meanwhile,
second most powerful console.
I went and rented Knack 2 when we played it and stuck it in. And 30 seconds later, we were done with the install and the network update. That's just, I don't get why Microsoft somehow has not figured out how to install games properly. Whatever.
It's weird.
And if you're curious, I tried it. I have everything installed to an external now. Same exact speed. Not slower, not faster, just exactly the same. So I just needed the more space. Weird.
Yeah, I think it got down to... Sorry. I know we kind of hinted at it, but James and I have been sick. James has been sick for the last week or so.
Yeah.
You're like shaking something off.
Yeah, mine is just, at this point, it's just like cough and just like a sore throat.
Yeah.
And the last like 2 days, it's been a little, but I mean, we've been going on 2 weeks that I haven't really had much of a voice.
Yeah. So
Awful. It's awful for a job where I have to use the phone a lot.
Yeah. Mine kicked in really hard on Monday.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been just like pushing different things. Like Monday, I stayed home from work because my throat was kind of sore.
It's the first
And I
time I
thought-
missed work in like 75 years, I think.
Yeah,
For
I don't get sick that often. And so I thought, I was like, okay, like this is probably gonna be like a day thing. My throat kind of hurts,
Right.
and I'll go back to work tomorrow. I'll be fine. Well, I was wrong, and I went back to work on
You
Tuesday.
had to
and
go back to work anyways.
Yeah, I had things I had to do on Tuesday that like I've gotten 4 separate reminders from the people
Right.
above me that were like, hey, just remember we're doing this thing. We're doing this thing. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna like be like, hey, I'm sick because nobody else can do what I was doing.
Right.
So I went into work. My whole day I was sitting at my desk, just like going in and out of consciousness, like sleep. So like
Yeah.
I got home yesterday and like pulled the video to show my wife, and I was like, wow, that video looks really good. Like I didn't remember what it looked like.
Right. Like you're just watching it as like a viewer
I
instead
very
of
much-
actually the one making it.
It was very much like the I spent my whole day like watching myself from behind my eyes is how it felt.
Yeah,
I
no,
was just, like really dizzy and really tired all day.
that's the nice thing about my job, me not being like the go-to for everything. There's always backups for everything. Like if I need to take a second day, I take a second day. And
Yeah.
that's nice. You didn't have that option when it sounds like you would have really used it.
I could have taken a day to day, and I probably should have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Just because
Well, thank goodness Thursdays are never long days for
I
you.
know, right?
That'll
Like
be
going late
nice.
tomorrow.
You could
but-
sleep in. And you,
Yeah.
well, you can't go to bed early, that's for sure.
Yeah. Last night I went to bed at
Whoopsies.
8:30, and I'm the kind of guy that normally goes to bed at midnight.
Right.
And it's just like I remember like going into my bedroom to lay down, and then I woke up. It was great.
You don't even remember like laying down.
No.
You just
Like
you starting the process.
Yeah, I remember going in
Wow.
there and like had my phone to put on the charger, and then it was just like,
And then the sun was
dead to
shining.
the world. I mean, I woke up a couple times to go to the bathroom because I've been drinking so much water.
Still though. That's impressive.
That's what we used to do in college, just like drown away our sicknesses.
I couldn't afford medication on the not jobs we were working in college.
right.
Sorry, I mean volunteer church
When you're
jobs.
making negative $100 a week,
I still don't know how we made it through college. I'll be completely honest.
magic.
All right, Jake, what is new this week?
Hey.
Look at that.
Coming out on Tuesday, February 13th. So it is out already as of a couple days ago,
Mhm.
as you're watching the show. Pinstripe for PS4. This came out on the PC a little while ago.
Is it a bowling game? Sounds like a bowling game.
No, it is a side-scrolling adventure game. Puzzle game? Mystery game? I've
Those are
only
three
watched
options.
one or two Let's Plays for it.
Well, if you're looking forward to it, let us know.
Yeah, I think
Also tell us what it is.
some of our friends
we could look it up.
in the industry,
Ooh,
quote unquote,
industry
have played.
friends.
Excuse me,
Sounds so
sorry.
legit. That's good.
I've lost control of my body. It's really annoying. Also on Tuesday, South Park: The Stick of Truth came out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Now, that's confusing because I thought that
It was not on the PS4 and Xbox One before. It was on PS3.
because it was
game.
the original one.
Yes.
Okay.
The Fractured But Whole is the one that just came out,
Right.
and so this
Interesting.
one is the old game
Okay. All right. That's
But I
okay.
think
That's what I
it's now
thought. I
available
just
to play
was looking it up. So
on these things.
Cool.
On Thursday, February 15th, so yesterday, Torque L Physics Modified Edition on the Switch we have a Let's Play on this on our channel somewhere.
Oh, that's true.
Way back when.
I was about to
That
say
game with those bars.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not impressed by
It
it.
was a puzzle game.
I do remember that.
Turn out that is well, you can play 2 players if you're crazy. I watched Michael and Gavin from Achievement Hunter do it.
Oh, nice.
So basically, like, they just, you're these 2 buttons and I'm these 2 buttons. And
Oh, so you have to hold the
puzzle
same
that way.
controller.
Yeah.
No.
I think they actually could do it with separate controllers. I don't know.
Either way.
It looked like a pain.
That would be like playing Overcooked on one controller.
Yeah, no.
Just
No,
don't do
thank
that.
you.
It's dumb.
Ain't about that life.
Mm-mm.
Friday, today, February 16th, Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch.
Now that is big if you are,
If you're a Bayonetta fan.
because that's awesome.
I have not played Bayonetta.
Yeah, it's not our style at all. I can already tell you. So, a JRPG style.
Oh, I
stuff.
thought it was more of like a hack and slash. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think
I haven't
it's-
looked anything up on it. So
I think it's. I would have to look, but it's definitely
Yeah.
Japanese influenced.
Yep.
So it's not really our style, but
True.
it's a big deal. It's coming to Switch. That's awesome. Go Switch.
Yep. Disappointment of this generation, Metal Gear Survive, the second beta.
I still can't believe they're putting out this game. Like
runs
I get that they're just
from
doing it.
today through Sunday, the 18th, on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
I've never heard anything good about Metal Gear Survive.
I think this game's gonna do terribly.
It's pretty much just
It could
cashing
be-
in on the
It could be
name.
the next Last of Us, and no one will buy it
It's very true.
because
That's
of
Konami's
what
fault
Konami did
entirely.
to Kojima.
It's just how it goes.
Even if Kojima's fault, whatever happened at Konami, like since we don't know
They just handled it so poorly.
and we'll never know,
No,
everybody's just gonna blame Konami.
I think that's
so-
reasonable. I think this proves that they're just trying to cash in on his name. Last one coming out on Friday. There's more coming out. These are the ones that we were actually
Just
interested
the
in.
important one.
Fee. It you may not remember this name.
FE.
FE. It was announced back in June 2016 at E3. It was part of EA's very first EA Originals game. So they're helping to fund these games, and they're the publisher on this, but it's fully supporting the indie developers.
Yeah.
And all the profits supposed to go to them. There's nothing. There's a statement on EA's website about it. We don't have all the numbers, obviously, but that game comes out on Friday. Today. Very exciting. PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It's cool seeing EA get in there and help out smaller developers that may not get that opportunity. They're also going to be doing A Way Out, which was we saw the co-op last year.
Yep.
E3, it was co-op breaking
That's
out
a
of jail.
UNI game if there ever was one.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was a very unique co-op where you have to play it with a partner. It's definitely they said it was 2018. We still haven't seen anything, but that's another one that's an EA original. And then there was another one I can't remember that's still on its way out. The initials were SOS and it was Sea of something, and it's going to bother me that I don't know. But that's cool. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested. It looked very unique, adventure platformer style thing, but very much an indie game. So we're not talking AAA kind of product. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
It makes me curious. You and I talked about this a little bit before the show.
Mhm.
Like what's in this for EA?
Right.
And like you mentioned, like Goodwill. Well, this has been in the works for a good long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't know if it's one of those things, like I look at EA kind of like once bitten, twice shy kind of thing of like, oh, EA, like hang on. Like they're those,
Yeah.
like what do they stand to gain from this for like funding these things and
Right.
publishing these things and letting the indie people have all the profit? It's
Yeah.
like, when's
I'm
the other shoe
curious.
going to drop?
Yeah.
Of like,
So I think with it's really hard to say. The other one is called Sea of Solitude. That one's supposed to come out this year as well. Don't know much about these games, but
somebody need another pirate game this year.
but so it's an interesting concept. It's good to see indie devs getting an opportunity that they normally wouldn't get. The program kind of took people by surprise a couple years ago when they announced it. It was not expected, and they already had a game lined up for it. Since then, a lot of people have been applying for the program. So it's cool. Maybe they really are
Definitely a
genuinely
cool
just
program.
trying to help indie developers get noticed with really good ideas. So if you want to support it, go take a look. Just remember, it's not really supporting EA.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be going
Supporting
to
the dev.
which I should have looked up. But either way, it's very cool, very exciting
about
stuff. So,
But next topic.
first official topic of the day.
First official. This one comes to us from Eurogamer.
Mhm.
Like normal. Shout out to the guys at Eurogamer. We love your site. I
mean, I like it too.
I'm always there looking at stuff.
Yeah, you are.
But Sea of Thieves. We talked a little bit about Sea of Thieves last week, I believe, maybe the week
2
before.
weeks ago. Yep.
2 weeks ago. But found this article over there that I think filled in some gaps for me.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But it starts, while Sea of Thieves closed beta answered many questions about Rare's big new shared world pirate game, it left many questions unanswered. Chief among them, perhaps, was, is this it? Which I know we talked about on the show.
100%. That's my biggest concern right now.
The most enticing mechanic for me, the writer of this game, this article, I apologize, whose name I forgot. I meant to write it down, and I totally didn't.
Sorry, I'll look real quick.
It's a unique one. Most enticing game mechanic for me has to do with the end game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is some stuff for us to look forward to as we play it.
Wesley Yin Pool.
I thought I wanted to say Wes. I was close.
You could probably call him Wes. I feel like he can get away with it. We're basically
He's a good
friends.
guy. Sea of Thieves has progression, but unlike a lot of games, it does not have experience points. Nor does
I got them experience points.
Nor does it have stat-based loot. Progression revolves around increasing reputation with 3 trading companies: the Order of Souls, the Gold Hoarders, and the Merchant Alliance. Complete quests for these factions, and you'll increase your reputation with each.
Right. That's all pretty. I mean, we had the gold guy.
Yep.
In the beta.
We had the Order of Souls person.
Yep. In the alpha. So it's we knew that we'd have 3, so that's good.
Yep. So basically, what happens next is there's this big pirate legend cave you can get to when you've progressed far enough, and as you play the game, you run into NPCs who will give you hints, give you clues about it. Once you've gathered enough clues, you can go to find it. It's not marked on the map anywhere. You just have to find it based on what you have learned by running into people. So eventually, once you get all that stuff, you'll go to a place to find a key. But you can lose. It sounds like you can lose the key. If you don't have the key, you can't get in. Is the thing.
And just one person has to have it, right? Not everybody in your party.
One person in your game has to have it. So if one guy has the key and goes in with a crew of 4, everyone can go where that one guy goes. You can do the missions that he picks up. You can go inside the places he can go, because it's just one person's going to unlock the door.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is nice.
I like that. So inside the captain's cabin, that is a proper noun. Captain's cabin.
Captain's cabin.
Is the Pirate Lord, an NPC who sells legendary voyages. These are the most challenging and rewarding quests in the entire game. Design director Mike Chapman calls them Sea of Thieves' take on public events, or if Sea of Thieves did raid content. So this is where I think it gets interesting for people like us, where we're like, okay, I think we talked about this a little bit. I had heard that sometimes when you go underwater, you see these big tentacles or something, or a loading screen or something we saw.
Right.
But there's a monster you can fight, and that's a raid. So right. I think that might be cluing into what this is. You get a voyage to go kill these giant legendary sea monsters or something akin to that.
It's interesting. So I mean, because you've got these legendary things that unlock later. You've got this secret pirate place that you've got. They go on to talk about forts being sprinkled throughout the world. We saw them in the beta. You could occupy a fort and take out people as they go by. If there's a skull overhead, it means that there's treasure and it's being guarded by a bunch of skeletons and stuff. So those are...
If you occupy it, it becomes like a safe zone for you.
That's so those are good, unique elements. But it's hard to say until we get into it, because everything that's going to sound good on paper, right? Destiny 2 sounded good on paper.
Yeah, it did.
There's a lot of things that sound good when you're first selling it, a lot like Sea of Thieves. So at this point, we've got 3 vendors with various fetch quests.
Yep.
Right? That's what we've got. Then when you do enough fetch quests, you get another fetch quest.
Yeah.
But like
legendary fetch
but
quest.
like a harder one with harder stuff to find. So I get that maybe that's breaking it down too similarly. Maybe that's just what all RPGs break down into. But I just finished up, Assassin's Creed Origins, which has wildly varying side missions that they're way different in terms of RPGs than I've experienced.
Broken
before.
down to their base elements, they're the same, but they're so different between each one of where you're at, what you're doing in between the beginning and the end.
Yeah, and you don't always just go to this person, go do this, and then come back to them. Sometimes it takes you to 4 different places, and you don't ever go back to the original person. And sometimes you do, and only when it makes sense. And sometimes it's gathering stuff, and it's unique enough that it gets you tied into it. Whereas with Sea of Thieves, I mean, there's not even a true leveling mechanic here, right? There's no. There's no what
it's like a reputation mechanic more.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with this money when you get it? What are you gonna do with these things? Is it all just gonna be cosmetic? Is there gonna be stuff you can buy? Oh look, here's an upgraded
something about
gun.
a character creator while moseying through articles today.
Yeah.
I mean the article titled Sea of Thieves character creator might not be for everyone. So I didn't read the article, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, which is not exactly enticing. So
Yeah.
it's just there are concerns that I have, but so it just kind of depends on what they want Sea of Thieves to be for you. Do they want it to be a game where you make the game and you do what you want to do and you have your friends and you hang out and that's what you do? Or do they have a tailor-made experience to go through the game and to show you things and to experience new things? Like how much of this game is dependent on what you are doing in the game?
Funnily enough, that does kind of lead into the next article we have. It's like, you know what we're doing here.
What?
Only a little bit, and then it kind of leads into the end of it. So, earlier this month, a Sea of Thieves data mine unearthed word of a premium shop. As you'd expect, the revelation sparked a number of questions. So,
Premium shop is always a scary term that I see.
yes,
I never like that term.
it sounds like loot boxes.
It does sound like loot
It
boxes.
sounds like real money. So, again, this article still written by Wesley, still at Eurogamer. So during a recent visit to Rare, I asked the developers about the premium shop. Yes, it's real, I was told, but it does not include loot boxes. There are no loot boxes in Sea of Thieves. So
You heard it here
you heard it third hand.
first. You heard it here first, I promise. I know some of you heard it here first, and that's what's important.
And you're the people that matter. The premium shop won't be live at the game's March launch. Either a decision that makes sense in the either a decision that makes sense in the context of the ongoing controversy around loot boxes. 2017 saw a number of high-profile games come under fire for their loot boxes. Chief among them, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I've never heard about that game.
That's weird.
Weird. Microsoft and Rare will no doubt be sensitive to any potential backlash to Sea of Thieves microtransactions and will hope to avoid an outcry like the one that marred the launch of Star Wars Battlefront 2. So
Yes, it's good that there's no like advantage gaining things in said loot boxes. It's just
sound like it's truly cosmetic.
cosmetics. Great, fine. If that's what you want to do, then great. If you give me an option to earn it with in-game money, albeit at a much slower pace, then even better. You know, I would like to think that there's nothing in this game actually locked behind a paywall, whether it's, loot, whether it's
You okay?
whether it's
You
like
have a stroke?
performance enhancing or not. It's just good that it's.
Yeah.
So we'll see when it comes out eventually, maybe, probably.
Yeah. As I was reading through this
Who knows
article,
what
you
it's
can
gonna
see
be.
like different people from the Sea of Thieves team talk about like, we don't want people talking about the things they got from the premium shop. Like, oh,
Right.
someone paid money for that or whatever. Like, we want them talking about the cool adventures they had with their friends.
Right.
Which is why we want to launch without the premium shop first.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff. That was
That's good.
The general vibe I got.
I mean, I
from
think
it, which
that's
is good. The first addition to the Sea of Thieves premium shop will be virtual pets. You can buy directly, individually. These pets will work like other items in the game. They're physical objects that can be held not just by the owner, but by other players.
Well,
So
that's gonna work.
yeah, essentially everyone can pick up the pet and play with it. And you can throw it off the boat if you want to. It doesn't get hurt. It comes back.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
That
saying.
kind of thing. You can't lose it, is the deal.
Gotcha. It'll be interesting. I think there's a lot of potential for stuff like that for a lot of different outfits, for crazy, specially timed outfits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Valentine's Day or Halloween or Christmas or Easter Bunny or whatever else pirates celebrate. I don't know. Maybe fake pirate celebration holidays. Like,
Kwanzaa?
hey, happy Peg Leg Day. Everybody get half off turkey legs at the saloon.
Yar.
So it'll be interesting. It's good to see that we're not going to have that concern of loot boxes, at least right away.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no matter what they say now, it's one of those just hold your breath and just wait and see. I don't think a company like Rare would really do that. Like, I don't see that being a thing. If this was maybe EA or Ubisoft or Activision or pretty much any company ever, I'd be more concerned. So I think we're probably okay. But
We would hope
I'm
so.
still not, with the first topic, just a little, like, I'm still not sold on the endgame stuff. Like, I'm more
I'm curious
concerned.
how long it takes you to get
Like,
there.
I knew that there's endgame stuff, right? There always is going to be. And I know that there's
Yeah.
beginning stuff. What do I do in the middle? Do I just do the same things I did at the beginning? Like, I get the sense of progression is like, oh, you build your reputation with these factions and then you can go do these really awesome things. Great. But am I doing the same thing for 40 hours to get to that point? Is it taking 10 hours? And then how long do these legendary things take? Are the legendary things really that much different than what we're already doing?
Yeah.
Now, if it's maybe harder clues and you have to dig and it's like 3 or 4 parts on the same island, it's like, oh, go to this island and do this, and then it's going to unlock this, and then you can go through here, and then you jump through all these hoops and then get it. Like, that's pretty cool. I could get excited about that. Different kind of ones on every island. The problem, I think, is that there's a finite number of islands, and eventually you're going to repeat stuff. So how
Yeah.
quickly do things repeat before it gets repetitive? Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
School or redundancy school.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Yeah. So maybe the quests will be a little bit different once the full game launches, and we're doing fetch quests for beta and stuff.
Yep.
Who knows?
It's all hearsay until we see the game, and we're definitely going to play it when it comes out. I mean, we'll have our games with
Get that Game
gold
Pass.
going, get that free, and games with gold Game Pass, and we'll see.
A lot of gaming happening on the
I
Xbox.
am still not convinced. That's where I'm at right now.
Undecided.
That's
Put us
right.
in that camp.
Yeah, that's right. If there was, if you've been watching the Olympics and figure skating, they have like the red and the yellow and the green. So we would be yellow. We're still under review. We aren't sure if we're going to be a green or a red. So topical reference.
Lost my light.
Yeah, you did. It was like middle of like one of your talks. Well, I couldn't interrupt you.
It's disappointing. Like now I'm just
I don't
disappearing
even know
into
why
the darkness.
because
It's plugged into the battery.
the battery is the battery off maybe.
Is there a green light over there? What the heck? Come back.
That was weird.
Little inside baseball for you.
Yeah, there you go. It's all right. You can fix that.
There you go.
You can fix that in post.
Just you can frame by frame. Put a light in. Little-
What's wrong with Jake's face? There's a light sitting directly on it. Yeah, we let James do the editing today.
Good to share it because
He's
it's gonna
a
be edited and put
moron.
out in a day and a half. Speaking of things that should be easy to fix, moving on
I
to an
like
article from GameSpot.
Yeah.
For reasons unclear, Sony has never allowed anyone to change their PSN name, but now a new survey making the rounds suggests that Sony may finally allow you to.
I'm going to say let's take this with the biggest grain of salt.
Yeah,
Because
the grainiest of grainy
it's
salt.
a survey from a website, from a website, from a website. Like this
Yeah.
goes far down the rabbit hole. So there's no commitment here to say that this is definitely happening.
But
But
I like to put it out there because it should be a thing we should be allowed to do.
that's right.
The website Push Square has obtained a Sony survey that states that Sony has been, quote, exploring the possibility of adding a feature to PSN that lets users change their ID, end quote. According to the survey, players will be able to change their PSN ID, quote, multiple times, end quote, for free, though only once every 6 months. Under the proposed system, if you changed your name and wanted to revert to your original tag, you would have to get in touch with Sony's customer support team. So you can't just be like, change it. I don't like that name. Go back.
It would be interesting because, I mean, by comparison, Microsoft lets you change your gamer tag once for free. Additional changes incur a fee. It's how do you like if the idea is like, oh, what if I want to go back to the original one? Are they just holding those
It
there?
probably like locks that gamer tag away. And
But it's just like
I know
eventually,
Microsoft like does occasional like releases of
right?
like thousands of gamer tags.
So my guess is that Sony would be like, all right, we're gonna lock these down, and if no one claims them in 12, or like if you don't come back to it for a year
Yeah.
or whatever, then we're gonna go in for 6 months or whatever it is. So it's interesting. Grain of salt. You know, we don't really know. It's a survey and an email. Like it's such a very specific thing.
Yeah. I
you
mean, I don't understand. I mean, PlayStation Network being what it is, and it being kind of spotty.
Yeah.
Like it is. Maybe they just a lot more work needs to be done to the PlayStation Network that doesn't involve name changing. Because I don't know what all that would involve.
Well, so I think you can see it. It has to do in part with how PlayStation Network sees you and your account. It's based off of your username. Microsoft is not. Steam is not. So you have your display name, your screen name for Steam or for like Discord.
Yeah.
Right. So Discord's got your username and then a random set of numbers after it. And it's because on the back end, that's your name. But in terms of what people actually see, you can adjust that on servers. You can change it in Steam. You can change it whenever
It's like
you
your
want.
at name on Twitter.
Right. Exactly.
That at name is stuck.
Yeah, but everything else around it can change. And that's how it is with Microsoft, in that they have a background identifier for you, which right now is your Microsoft Live ID. So if you have an email with Microsoft, I know I have one, almost everyone on the planet has one. Like that's a very common thing to have. If you have a Microsoft account, that's what it's based on. So that's why your username can change. With PlayStation, the way it was set up originally is that everything was based off of your username. So you are your username. You're not your email address, although you can log in with that. You are your username and everything's tied to that. So it's not so simple as to just change that, but it's been long enough. You know, I mean, we started talking about this a long time ago, but 2014, they explained it wasn't a technical issue. It was just came down to Sony effort to prevent trolling, which is stupid.
Which
and
is a lie.
That's not even a thing. I don't even understand that. And then in 2015, Yoshida said Sony's engineers were looking into it, but unsure if it would ever be possible to deliver the feature. That's why they say they don't know if it's possible. It is. It just takes work for something that they're not going to immediately see a return on. The only way they see a return is if they charge people to do changes, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, I'd pay for it.
One free change, then charge people. That's enough. Like if you want to put down a time limit too, so hey, you can only change it like once a month or something. Great, do that too. Like I don't really care.
Keep that 6-month time restriction. One free change, and then you can change it for $15.
I can't think anyone on the PlayStation Network wouldn't want to do that. Like there's no reason. Like if you want to change your name, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Granted, they're going to have to rehaul how they authenticate.
There would be a
servers.
mass influx of name changes.
Oh, there would be, and I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. Maybe they could even do it in swaths. So just like A through C, you get an email saying, "Hey, if you want to change your name, you now have a window where you could do that." Initially just to get through everybody.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I would love to see it happen. It was at E3 last year. Either E3 or PSX. They said that that time next year, you would no longer have to ask about it. Now, whether that means that it's done by then, or whether it means that they have just addressed it and said when it's coming, we don't know.
Yeah.
But it will be dealt with soon, and eventually this will not be a thing we have to talk about. Whether it's this year, we have no idea. I would like to think that we would know more in a few months.
I don't know if we'd know about E3 or PSX this year.
Yeah, we gotta know by. I think that the speech came at PSX about it because that's the PlayStation focus.
That sounds. It'd make more sense there.
So by December we should know.
Yeah,
whether it's this year, whether it's already happened, whether it's next year, whatever. So hopefully soon. But I am not holding my breath.
I'm not either.
So I'm happy with my gamertag. The only thing that annoys me is that I've got an underscore in it. I don't want an underscore in it because none of my other stuff has an underscore in it. I would love to find the person that has the non-underscored one and kindly ask them to get rid of it because they're jerks.
Yeah.
So, and I set mine up like launch time for the PS3 Slim.
Yeah.
So a long time ago.
I don't not like my gamertag, but I'd like it to be the same as everything else.
I was gonna say you've changed how you do gamertag since then. So it makes sense for you to have your new one rather than your old one.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I know the gamertag I want is tied to a different email, I think. So I think I did it in college. I had two set up, but I don't know how to log back into the other one. I don't remember what email I used.
That's never good.
I mean, it's dead, so eventually they'd release it, I would assume.
In theory.
So.
Oh, you haven't logged in 5 years because you have a Hotmail email address.
I think I would say it was a school email. I
was driving by a bank today on my way home from getting pizza, and I saw American National Bank. There's one off of Dodge in like 90th, right? And they just have stuff on their marquee, and I'm sitting at that light for forever because it was Dodge at 5:30.
Yep.
And it scrolled up like some kind of charity that they're doing, and I don't even remember the first part, but the email for like info on it was at msn.com. Like, you own a bank. You can't possibly put one out there with your own domain name on, like msn.com. Like, maybe you're not the one running the charity, but it's your marquee. Put it in your email. Like, it's stupid.
Just put like MSN. The charity name at your bank's.
You didn't even pick like Gmail.
Set up another.
If you're going to look ridiculous, just put Gmail for something unimportant, or just set up a fake one on yours that forwards to MSN so that nobody knows.
Just set up an alias on yours that forwards into the other one. I was just
like, I know it doesn't matter, and I know that most people don't care, but I see it, and being an IT guy, it just annoys me.
Yeah.
It's just like seeing AOL email addresses, which I do still see. I had a ticket a few months ago where I had to help a guy get his AOL emails because they weren't working right. Like, here's a hint. Stop using AOL. You just...
When they stopped sending you the discs, it means they were done.
Gosh, that's crazy. Crazy. Old people, man.
Gosh.
All right. So this last one I brought in. It was actually DJ Mule commented and brought this up. I had wanted to talk about this anyways, but this game, it's called Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Looks unfinished.
Well, I mean, this is just
art, but
this is just art. This is just concept art. There weren't a ton of great screenshots, and there's a pretty good reason for it. So we've got this article from Kotaku, and basically Kingdom Come.
Is that a Jason Schreier article?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. So it's it's well done. It's not a full on review.
Oh.
Maybe your light's just getting like hot and it just doesn't like being on this long.
Oh, who knows, man?
Who knows?
I see it in the monitor that all of a sudden I'm just
Now
disappearing
you're
into
looking for
nothing.
it. No, you're good. I still think it's fine. It's still way better than it was. But anyways, so this originally started as a Kickstarter years and years and years ago. The idea being that this is an open world RPG that's not following like a superhuman savior of the world, right? It's just a normal everyday guy trying to go avenge his parents. And the idea is that it's hyper realistic. It's back in medieval times, long time ago. And you have to feed yourself, you have to sleep, you have to tend to your wounds. Combat is very draining, like, right up in the beginning, as far as stamina and stuff like that. It's like being a real person in this time frame. It's kind of a cool concept for people that want that hyper realistic simulation of surviving in the medieval times as a not super athletic, not super buff guy who just wants to do a little something with his life. Great concept. It's unique. It's not Witcher 3. It's not every open world game we've seen yet. The only problem is it sucks. Like, it's got good concepts. It wants to be an antithesis to that style of blockbuster, which is how Jason put it. He said it's an admirable goal, but its ambitions were maybe too great for what they were able to actually get working inside the game. That's not to say it doesn't try. It tries very hard to get there, and in some instances, it absolutely nails what it sets out to do. But there's just so much stuff here that doesn't work, and it's not worth persevering through. There's tons of bugs. There's tons of gameplay issues. There's loading screens that happen from time to time when you talk to NPCs. Flashes to a black screen for a second, and then comes back in. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Reports are varying wildly. It's on consoles and PC, and performance has been generally absolutely awful. And to top it off, they had a day one patch, right? Okay, everyone's got a day one patch, right? Usually not too much. Horizon Zero Dawn was like a 500 meg patch. 23 gig day one patch, which is almost the exact size of the game initially. It replaced a ton of stuff and didn't fix near as much as they said it would. The developers come out and said that they would have a fix for a lot of these issues within 2 weeks. So I am not
looking for.
Honestly sure.
Also, a side note, this is not Jason Schreier article, it's Luke Plunkett.
It was a very similar
style.
Very similar writing style. So, but he did not do a review. It was more just a reaction to what he was playing. So just kind of like some initial reactions, as one might say. Man, almost made it through the whole episode. And so it's interesting. Like I said, I was interested in the concept when I first saw it. I'm not a big fan because I'm not really a patient guy, and so long drawn out stories
like a long process.
Are tough for me, especially when you're also not a very good character. There's a lot of polarizing early reviews. The uniqueness of the experience make the performance problems and bugs and overall stilted behavior worth it for some. For others, it's just too much hassle for too little reward. So it's been getting demolished by reviews and things going on.
It's got a 7 out of 10 on Steam.
Ooh, 7 out of 10.
84% on PC Gamer.
Wow. Important thing there is PC.
It is a $60 game.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Warhorse Studios.
Warhorse. What have they done? They sound familiar.
Let's look up.
All right, let's look it up.
Formerly called Prague Game Studios.
Oh, yeah, I know them now.
All right, we're going to look at what... Spoiler, the only game that Warhorse Studios has done is Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah, that's not a huge
Deep
surprise.
Silver is also a publisher on it. Deep Silver, we know.
Deep Silver, I do know that one. That one I'm not making up.
Yeah. That one they did Homefront: The Revolution, Shenmue 3 they're working on, Saints Row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways. Man.
There are some positives here. He does say there's something cozy about spending your time walking around somewhere truly historical, knowing that the hills aren't infested with giant rats, that there'll never be any magic storms or power sorcerers interrupting your expeditions. There's just you, the countryside, some birds, and some regular folks doing their jobs. It's lonely, but also strangely calming. It sounds boring.
It sounds like it could be kind of fun.
Boy, we are two wildly different people in this very
I just
narrow
feel like it's one of those
respect.
things like, I think it'd be fun for a little bit. But... like, it's not one of those games that you're itching to get back home to.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a blockbuster. Like, that's kind of the problem, right? Like, they're like, we're going to make the antithesis to the blockbuster. But you know what makes the blockbuster sell so many things? It's a blockbuster. So when you make the opposite of that, and I understand that's not what, they intended.
Yeah.
But also when the game comes out broken. Like, phrase I've heard over and over again from the likes of Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller
Mm-hmm.
is like nobody remembers when a game comes out late, but everyone remembers when it comes out broken.
Yeah.
Like if you just take time, but like, sorry, we have to push this back another 6 months. And I know that like that's expensive and studios can't do that sometimes.
Especially if it's like your first big game like this.
Yeah, where it's like this and it's just like, yeah, pushing back 6 months is under $60,000.
Yeah.
We can't really do
This
that.
is not really an option
But it's
for a
just
lot of
like
people.
we put out a broken game, like we're not gonna make our money back anyway. So where's the balance in putting out a broken game and delaying it and costing all the money? Especially
Yeah,
like
I
you
think
had a
that's
23 gig day one patch.
Yep.
Like it sounds like they tried, but
Like I get what
just kinda like missed the
when you've
mark.
got games, and we won't get into this too deep, but in terms of game development, I get that like you have a date where you have to go gold or you miss your ship date. I get it, and so you're going to patch stuff in, and they changed a lot of stuff in the day one patch, and they knew it going in, and they talked about it before in interviews and let people know, and it came out and it still didn't fix it. And the author, you should go read the Kotaku article because there's some good stuff on it. He said the whole game just creaks at the seams, from player animation to performance issues, suspect AI to your interactions with the environment around you. KCD is constantly at war with itself, trying to convince the player that it's an immersive, historic theme park, while at the same time reminding you at every step that this is a wonky video game. He didn't just say wonky, but I'm going to just say wonky. Go read the article. It's good stuff. So I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping this would do well. I'm especially bummed that it's a $60 game. Coming from a relatively unknown studio doing something that's kind of ambitious. It started as a Kickstarter game. I feel like this should have been a $40 game. That's just
it
my
does feel
opinion.
like it should have been cheaper
And especially
game.
because it's not done yet. I get that as a Kickstarter game, there was probably already delays and stuff like that with it, because there always is. So they probably had already pushed this game back farther than it needed to be. But if you guys have played the game, if you picked it up, or maybe you rented it and checked it out, or got it on Steam and quickly returned it, let me know in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think of it, because your guys' opinion always better than ours. We don't always get to play every game we talk about. We just get to read and discuss on our own. I was thinking about renting it, but not after the release.
not.
Maybe in a couple months. Maybe I'll pop down to Family Video in a couple months, pick up the one copy they have, and check it out. But nothing about this game really interests me. The more I read about it, the more I'm like, this is not a game for James. Like, James is a guy that uses a shotgun. That's James in a nutshell. If there's a game where I can use a double barrel sawed-off shotgun like Wolfenstein, I'm going to do it every single time. Now, can I hit a guy from 10 feet away? No, but I can hit him from 2 feet away, and that's the fun part.
That's where I'm headed.
Right, exactly. So that's the
A
show.
little story. I was trying to look up Prague Game Studios.
Sorry. No, you're good.
So I was typing it in the Google search bar. I got Prague, and then I got GA, and it was like Prague gay bars. I was like,
That's different.
lot to do in Prague, apparently.
I get, but maybe there's not, and that's part of the issue. That's why.
Not a lot to do, not a lot of ladies. That's just kind of how it goes in the Czech Republic, apparently.
If you live in the Czech Republic and it's not like that, let us know.
Let us know in the comments below.
My family's initially from the area of the Czech Republic.
They were from there back when it was Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, they're like 5 or 6 generations removed. So maybe it was a different name back then. It was like a name before that. But yeah, the original Czechoslovakia.
OG.
Well, we were having a conversation about that because in the Olympics, there's Slovakia and then there's Czech Republic.
Yep.
So is everybody
Didn't
Czech?
they change it from Czech Republic?
It
thought
may
it
be
changed
something
recently.
else now, but I know it's Slovakia and Czech of some sort. So it's like, is everybody a Czechoslovakian, or are you Czech or Slovakian?
It's definitely your Czech and Slovakian.
What makes you different from 100 years ago when it was a different country? And then to the same point,
Probably the same things that make you different when you're North
Well,
Korean
well, I
and
was
South
gonna say-
Korean.
Yeah, but you still call people Korean, right? You don't like have people
You
in
still
the
speak Korean, yeah.
right. So it's like, what's the? I guess.
But I'm sure if you talk to them, and you'd be talking to South Koreans because that's the way it works.
Oh yeah, they would.
They definitely say, "I'm from South Korea."
Oh
Like,
yeah, they would. It's that distinction. So it's like when you're from Slovakia or the Czech Republic or whatever they call it now. What are you all Slovakians? I would imagine that you go by the name of the country, since the
Yeah.
names are different. Whereas in Korea, the names are technically the same. These are just things I'm curious. But I mean, Czech split long time ago.
Yeah, it was,
We're talking-
that was a solid minute ago.
Yeah, it was before Korea split. So these are things that I think. Actually, my wife brought it up because she asked about my family.
These are
My
things that
family's
get
so
thought
far
out.
from removed.
Yeah.
And everybody that's out there has been so far removed from it that they're all just Czech. That's it. And that's what no one says Czechoslovakia. That's hard to say.
Yeah. It's a lot of syllables to
It is. But if you've ever
Tackle.
heard Czechoslovakia spoken or sang, it actually sounds really awesome. It's kind of like a drunk version of German. It's great.
be fair, Czechoslovakian sounds like a drunk word. Where's the Czechoslovakians over there? Apologies if that insults anyone. We didn't mean it, but
I'd be impressed if it did.
welcome to the show. And speaking of welcome to the show, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.